First, I look at the screenshot and decide that since the views are in rows, it looks like a vertical linear layout. The second child, though, is not a single view. In fact, that's a horizontal linear layout of 3 views. This is what the view hierarchy diagram would look like. We have a vertical linear layout as a root view, and then 5 children under that. The linear layout itself has 3 children as well. Once we have the diagram, it's easy to create the skeleton of XML code now. The root view is a linear layout, and it contains a text view as its first child, followed by a linear layout, which has a button, text view, and button inside of it. And this is the closing tag for the linear layout. And then we have the text view, another text view, and a button, which are all children of the parent linear layout. From this XML, we can go into Android Studio and modify our existing layout to look more like this. In Android Studio, I open up Activity Main XML layout file. We're going to make the changes in place in this file so that they match more closely to our desired layout. The first child is a text view that we already have, and it's supposed to be the quantity header. Next, we should have a nested linear layout that contains 3 views inside of it. We don't have that yet, so let's add it. I'm going to hit enter and then just start typing linear layout. It also shows up as one of the autocomplete options, so I can just hit OK. Then it auto-populates attributes that I should fill in because width and height are required. I set the width to be match parent, which will in turn match the width of its parent, and this will match the width of the screen. For layout height, I don't want to set match parent, otherwise it will push the other views off the screen vertically. So I'm just going to say wrap content here. That way the linear layout will only be as tall as the 2 buttons and text view inside of it. Now this closing tag should be moved after all the children of the linear layout have been added. So that will go down here. When you have children inside of a view group, you should indent the children by 4 spaces. I'm going to add a space here too because I like to have a blank line in between each XML element. Oh, one more thing we're missing is setting the orientation of this linear layout. Earlier we decided that the linear layout should be horizontal so that the buttons and the text view appear horizontally. Cool, now that matches what we wanted. Next we have 2 text views and a button, which we already have in our layout. So I think we're done. If you wanted to check the design pane, this is what it would look like. We have a vertical linear layout with 5 direct children, and this linear layout has 3 more children. Let's run it on our device to see what happens. So this looks close to what we want, but not quite. The quantity picker is appearing horizontally, which is a good sign, but we want the minus button on the left-hand side and the plus button to be on the right-hand side, as shown in the screenshot of the desired layout. Also, these buttons are tightly squeezed up against the edge of this text view. If I remember the screenshot correctly, we also want 8 dips of space on the left-hand side and right-hand side of this text view. So let's add that now. Going back to the XML, I'm going to move the plus button to be after the text view, and then move the minus button to be before the text view. Okay, so in a horizontal row, we should have the minus button, followed by the 2, followed by the plus button. We also want to add padding around this text view. We could either add it as margin or padding, but I'm just going to choose padding. And we'll set the value to be 8 dips. Okay, great. Now I have a hunch that there's a bunch of extra white spaces and the ordering of our attributes may be incorrect according to the Android code style guidelines. So in the menu at the top of your screen, click on Code and then click on Reformat Code and also Rearrange Code. And that should rearrange all the attributes and fix up all the formatting for you automatically. Okay, great. Let's run the app again. There, that's better. Now there's space around the 2, and the minus button is on the left-hand side, and the plus button is on the right-hand side. Woohoo! It looks good. And let me also check that it still works. So I'm going to pick an arbitrary quantity, and then order. And that looks correct. Phew, that was a long journey to get this quantity picker on the screen. Alright, the app is looking really good. But so far I've only showed you how to show numbers on the screen. What if you want to show text on the screen? Keep watching to find out.